Dana.
Some of the nation's top police officials sounding the alarm over an officer shortage. They say officers and even police chiefs are leaving the force at an unprecedented rate. Our next guest calling it a crisis, and I would agree. National Fraternal Order of Police President Patrick Yoes is with us now. Thank you so much for being here. I just want to show people a couple of things here. One of the reasons that you have this problem is 42.7% resignations in 2021 than in 2029. So that's a huge increase. 23% more retirements in 2021. And one of the things that we had a guest on earlier this week talking about is that if you take away the police are a good guy, if you take that away, then there's very little incentive to stay in the police force.
All right. Dana, thanks for having me on. Look, at the end of the day, what we have here is we have just a total lack of respect for the law enforcement profession that has happened over a period of time where we eroded our noble profession. So our whole system is based off of the best and the brightest applying for this job and becoming the next wave of law enforcement. And what we see now is nationally, a recent survey shows 45% higher retirements with a 20% resignation, you go down as much as 90% less applicants in New Jersey for troopers. Chicago is 83% less applicants than they had previously, and in NYPD they're looking at a 42% increase in just retirements for this year alone. There is definitely a crisis created by a number of things. Law enforcement is just not attracting the best and the brightest, and we're losing experience at a level that should be a concern to every American.
And what is the long-term consequences of that I would say for a generation or more?
I have to agree with you. Look, anyone in law enforcement knows that if we found applicants we needed for every position filled right now, we're probably looking to 3, 5, 6, 7 years before that becomes an effective officer. And a bigger problem we have is those that would teach, that would convey, that relate that knowledge onto the next generation, the next wave of law enforcement. Well, they're leaving. They're finding more stable jobs for a number of reasons. Look, crime's going up. That revolving door criminal justice system, violent crime is created. Anyone in law enforcement can tell you the vast majority of violent crime is committed by the same people. We need to take them off the streets, but allowing them to come back on the streets makes our communities, makes our jobs less safe. So far this year, there have been 217 officers shot in the line of duty, and a large percentage of that is ambush attacks of law enforcement simply because of the color of the uniform. So we're in a crisis situation right now with manpower, and it's time to recognize that the consequences of the demonization of law enforcement and be part of the solution to this problem. One thing Americans are united on, there's no question. Look at poll after poll after poll. They're concerned about crime in our nation. And it's time to have those meaningful discussions on how we can move past this, how we can attract that next wave of law enforcement, how we can stop the hemorrhaging. And keep in mind, too, those officers who suit up and show up every day, some 800,000 across this country, look at the burden that they're carrying as well, working short, having to work longer hours, and all of the demands it takes. Well, what about their well-being? So we're in a crisis situation, and it's time to take action to reverse course and put us on the right path. There are bills before Congress right now that can give some immediate relief to manpower shortages and training, and it's time. Well, I understand and respect the legislative process, but right now what we're seeing is a crisis, and we need some immediate action.
The Democrats in the House, however, decided yesterday that they are not going to take up that bill at this point, but the pressure is on and the crisis is real. Patrick Yoes, Fraternal Order of Police, thank you. We'll stay in touch.
Thank you very much.